Grid is a racing series that's been around for quite a while. It started back in 2008 with Race Driver Grid, and for years it knew exactly what it was trying to be. But then in 2019, it sort of forgot. Not in a spectacular headline grabbing way, just quietly, politely. If you remember this game vividly, you're already doing better than most people. So 6 years later, I'm jumping back in to figure out what happened to Grid and how a perfectly fine racing game managed to feel this forgettable. That's right, 6 years old already, time flies since 2019. Grid was developed and published by legendary racing company Codemasters, the makers of all your favourite racing games. Released on the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One in 2019 with a fairly average run-of-the-mill Metacritic rating of 73. Described as just another racer seemed harsh with all the content, but they were correct. Subjectively, I think it's definitely an average racer, so I've gone with a sitting on the fence score of 75. Welcome guys to the fourth installment of Grid. So this is the 2019 version of the long-running series from Codemasters. Now I have actually played this quite a fair bit. I'm a huge fan of the Grid series, despite this Grid game being pretty mid. And I would describe the entire series, to be honest, as a pretty mid series. Other than Race Driver Grid, the original with a Metacritic of 87, very high as well. And that's dating back to 2008, where it was so competitive with Colin McRae Dirt, just with the amount of cars that you were able to drive. We'll quickly just stick in a WRX STI here. We'll just jump into a quick race because we want to discuss what this game was about and how it lines up 6 years later. So here we go, just change our view. We'll start in cockpit mode. We'll get it going, and you can see everyone has an individual name here. Don't want to slam in. And kind of like Project Gotham Racing, if people remember that as well, you get, I'm going to call it kudos, even though it's points, and you get a score at the end of it as a kind of arcade level to this. Now this is not a sim game, this is not like a dirt game, this is not anything like that, not like a Richard Burns rally. As we're really creeping it in here, it's more probably closer to Forza Motorsport. Forza Motorsport not being obviously a sim game and having a lot of arcade elements. So you do get teammates, as we slam in, and you do get rivalries, and these rivalries can come across from 400 different AI profiles, and it's known as the Nemesis system. And the Nemesis system is named similar, or if not the same, as the Shadow of Mordor game. However, obviously they're not driving cars. Come on, we can get up straight through all this. He's got his boo hanging out, John Magnuson. So this game was actually created under the consultation of Fernando Alonso. It was quite a big marketing ploy at the start. And it features heavily Le Mans GT cars and Daytona prototypes, which was a major selling point on this game. Oh, creep into the first place. It's only 3 laps this one anyway. Just doing nice quick races. The cockpit on this game as well does feel very nice, and we do have our grid lines on to show where to brake and stuff because we're just jumping into this. I thought, let's get some help. When I play racing games, I typically turn these off because otherwise you're never going to learn the tracks. If you're just jumping on and you don't have time to learn tracks, then definitely keep them on because why not? It's all beneficial. But if you're playing something like Gran Turismo like I do, then you'll definitely turn them off because, yeah, screw that. So the reason I declare this game kind of as mid is it's extremely repetitive. Now, there are loads of tracks, there's loads of cars, there's loads of everything, but it's one of those games where you get basically unlimited money so fast, you get so many options to buy all the cars immediately. You don't really have to save anything. The tracks can be very similar. All the tours you do, all the different sections, all the races, all the tournaments, whatever you want to call it, they all kind of feel the same. And that's a real disappointment because there's so much to do. But once you've done, I would say, a quarter of the races after about 20 hours, you kind of feel like you've done everything. And you're just repeating the same process over and over. And you can say, hey, but that's kind of racing anyway. You're just repeating the same process. But when it's an arcade game, you're looking for something a little bit more, a little bit more oomph into it. You can see teammate earnings 1,300. We got 11,800 because we won. Costs because we smashed into someone, and no bonus because I think probably because we're on a lower difficulty at the moment. So you can see our teammate there is Nathan McCain. I think is actually one of the boss races, which you do get in this game. So this game is also sandwiched in between Grid Autosport, which is a pretty average game, and Grid Legends, which was basically a follow-up onto this grid from 2019. And they're marching around the same sort of Metacritic, around 73, 74, as we jump into Brands Hatch on the Indy circuit, which should be a very, very quick lap. 3 laps, this is going to be somewhere in the region of 40 seconds. 40 seconds to 55 seconds is what I'm gathering in this vehicle. We'll go chase cam for this one as well. Can we go a bit further out chase cam? I'm not a chase cam guy. Arcade games, you can cope with it. And the old Colin McRae games as well, pretty fun to have in chase cam. We started in first, so we've got a massive advantage. And that's just because we were so fast in the previous race. It's almost like heats. So when you get there, you go, look, already they're fighting it. You just get straight ahead. It's almost like a time trial now. What did I say, about 40 to 55 seconds for a lap? 2 corners left. That counts as 1. Yeah, it's about that time, isn't it? Around 50 seconds. Should be a lot quicker on the second lap due to obviously not starting from a standstill. Great drift there. I'm not getting many bonus points though. I seem to be braking a lot later than the line suggests, which is, again, it's just a suggestion. You can see how far ahead we are on the map now. This difficulty I think is a little too easy. I've turned it onto. I didn't think I was going to be any good jumping back onto this game after a little while off of it. I'm kind of done with this game. This game's retired in my head. And I'm yet to actually play the follow-up to this, Grid Legends, which I would like to, because I'd like to actually make videos for all of the Grid games. Oh, look at that timing. What did I say? 40 to 55 seconds? 47. Spot on with the estimate. I know Brands Hatch better than I know anything else track-wise in the world. That's only because I used to live 5 minutes from there. And now I live probably closer to Snetterton in real life. But you can see, cars really nice, great graphics, tracks really well done. It's got the English grey skies, so you know it's quality. And it's more just another... That's the problem. This game feels like it's just another arcade racer, which is great, because I love them. However, it's not what I'm after. I want something with a little bit more pizzazz on it. Get a nice little end screen with whoever comes on the podiums. Obviously we won, so we're there. Freya Thompson. All Subarus, of course they are. And you can see, you have the touring category, you have stock, muscles, that is muscle stock. You've got modified cars, GT cars, F1000, which is the Fernando Alonso kind of one that he consulted with, where the final showdown is you actually race Fernando in his title-winning Renault. And then you have invitationals, which is just anything, you know, there you go, from racing an R32 GTR, Golf GT40, you've got the hill climbs, really cool to do that. Old Porsches, old Alfa Romeos, BMWs, Minis, classic Mini trophies. Those are good races. But the Fernando Alonso one isn't just Formula 1 cars, for example. It's single-seaters in general, it's touring cars, it's loads of different kinds of supercars, GT cars. And you know what, we'll try one here in the Jedi. Damn right. Here we go. We can stick it in third person for the first section. Into the chase cam. Whoa! Okay, that's horrible to control. It will be. Makes a good noise though. That's one thing I will give this game, is the engine noises are very good. And I'm not expecting it to be like a sim. I'm not expecting it to be Gran Turismo or anything. I mean, not even expecting it to be as good as Forza in terms of simulation. I'm more expecting just, you know, just add a few more characteristics to it. Make it harder to get vehicles. You know, you really have to grind for many races or different seasons. I think what I was looking for with Grid was actually more like Project Cars, where you start off, for example, say in a go-kart and you work your way through, but it's just not that kind of game. And I feel like these arcade games are great, but they're never going to sell well from Codemasters, because no one's interested in just hopping on for 10 minutes, 20 minutes and just playing an arcade game anymore. Times have moved on. Sim racing is a whole category. People that like racing games kind of like realism now. There we go, jump into cockpit as well. Coming up the inside. Whoa, street race. Turning into Sergio Perez. We don't want to slam into our Carlos Sainz rival. Whoa. Very nice, take the wide line. Got 6 laps around here. Giving it some beans. We don't have to overtake anyone either. It's a fastest lap. It's just qualifying basically. It's a time trial. Whoever gets the fastest lap is fine. I already have the fastest lap that I can see. Yeah, by 3 seconds. Yeah, I think the difficulty on this, whoa, slam into the side, might be a little too easy. But that's okay. It's a show and tell. But I'd love to hear, guys, what your experience with arcade games in general, arcade racing games. This is somewhere, you know, not even in between a sim and an arcade. It's definitely an arcade. Ooh, right behind him. Right behind him. Let me get him. Nice. I'm racing these guys in a qualifying. Hit the curb. Let's see if I can beat 29.7, which is really fast. We're just ahead. When in doubt, flat out. Oh! And we beat it. Yeah, nearly to 129. 29 seconds flat, nearly. Very fast. But yeah, I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts on whether you actually want these games still. Whether you still play these games, how many hours you put into them in comparable to racing simulator games, much like Assetto Corso, Gran Turismo, iRacing, etc. Have I just set another fastest one as the final lap? Boom. No, I didn't. But 129.1 is very quick. Much quicker than second place. Sorry, Zhang Gao. As you can see, because this game isn't very old, it's only 6 years old, it's held up, obviously, very well. But what it's comparable to is older grid games, the 2008 one, because I would argue the 2008 grid game is far, far superior to this one in every way. And I will be playing that one for the channel, and we'll be making a I played all the grid games eventually video. I would like to go through all of these, as the motorsport genre on this channel seems to be quite high. But I want to know, guys, what you think of the grid series, what you think of this grid game in particular, and what the best grid game is. Leave a comment down below, and I will see you in the next Years Later. Thanks so much for watching. Please check out another video like the ones you see on screen now. Consider subscribing to never miss an upload of all your favourite games, and I will see you in the next video.